Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Today, now Wednesday, number 29 day for this month of March 2023. My name na Capo Daniel, Mr. No Connie, una own countryman, Ambazonian FBI. Una welcome to our daily podcast, a program where they bring una the truth, where they bring una meaningful information, fact-based analysis for help we as we waka for this journey to our freedom, to the independence of Ambazonia. My country people them, Ambazonian, they done score a very big goal against La République du Cameroon, getting a historic hit, bringing down a helicopter for inside Tombo, for Ngarbu, the place where La République be carry out a massacre, killing pregnant women and children, and blaming it to Ambazonian fighters, forcing traditional rulers to testify against the death and innocent blood of their own people, only to turn around and confess the truth when evidence beyond reasonable doubt was presented by the international community of Cameroon involvement in the butchering of Ambazonian children in that same sacred land of Ngarbu. Over Tombo, the Ambazonian soldiers gathered and brought down a big helicopter of La République du Cameroon. But first, before we get into that big victory, the colonial government of La République du Cameroon in order stop their arson attacks, scorched earth policy against Ambazonian villages. Vekovi, they still ruin with smoke where La République attacked Vekovi for inside Jakiri for the great state of Bui. It will be Saturday for around 2 a.m. for morning time. La République then raid the village of Vekovi with 3 armored cars, with 2 armored personnel carrier and trucks, and our civilian then put the number of troops of La République to about 500 where they attacked that village, not targeting Ambazonian camps, not even venturing into known areas where Ambazonian soldiers are gathering or have gathered before, but they launched the attack against settlement and village compounds, burning down 6 houses and killing scores of people. A total of 7 bodies have been found. 4 of them were found on Monday, and yesterday 3 other dead bodies were found in the forest. There have been little or no Ambazonian attack from Vekovi within the past month. This is another demonstration that La République is not targeting Ambazonian soldiers. No, are they targeting areas with active Ambazonian opposition, armed resistance against them? They are targeting all Ambazonians for one thing, because of their nationality, because they stand for one thing, the independence of Ambazonia. This is a genocidal war, a war of subjugation being waged by the Pobia regime of La République du Cameroon. Still for the great state of Bui, this time for Kikaikom district. La République du Cameroon did not abandon and surrender Kikaikom for Ambazonia. Their colonial SDO, it then withdraw all their government staff, cutting their salary unless some of them pay bribes. This now one of the glimpses of the confirmation for the information we don't put them out. They say La République it don't completely stop and halt all their previous attempts to come back with administrative presence or force people to return back for administrative duties in Ambazonian liberated area. As we consolidate our liberated area and put in place authorities, civilian authorities, all Ambazonian forces and every self-defense group in Ambazonia must seize the opportunity to fill the gap, because lack of doing so will bring in bad actors to fill the gap. The job of filling liberated area with transitional civilian authorities by the Ambazonian Governing Council is the way forward and must be adopted by all Ambazonian forces. Do not sleep where they have abandoned you on your own. Establish a system that will bring law and order and engage our local population to carry out work for themselves and to continue to build their homeland. Independence must mean independence. We must be able to act on our own, carry out developmental projects on our own. And thank God we do have humanitarian actors from all over the world, Human Rights Watch, World Food Program, that continue to engage with our communities to provide resources. Liberated areas have been the greatest beneficiary of international donation, and we must continue to build on that capacity to be self-governance self-reliance on our own territory in our own terms. Just in case some man inobi no say La République idam finish, La République du Cameroun they don't vote the 87-year-old Nyat Difanji Marcel again make be the head for their senator. Nyat Difanji nadam bangante man where they carry for hand for waka utam. The man where it is sick, it go in and out for hospital. Na grandpa where it wear diapers, it suffer for dementia. Paul Biya them put in number 2. Old person where they the same like he for show the people them say he want for whole power all by himself. No be a democratic society, no be a country where get any hope for change, no be a country where ever get any hope for come out of this their oligarchy system of dictatorship where Paul Biya it bring them. Now a place for run away from. For the other development internationally, La République du Cameroun, occupation of Ambazonia, annexation and recolonization it be confirmed as fact, with the UK government finally putting out a statement on this question and this debate that has brought in clarity. One Ambazonian in the United Kingdom by the name Christopher Fon Achumbang had made a petition against the British government for the breach of trust in handing over the former British Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia, to La République du Cameroun. In the petition that was full of labeling and accusation against the British government have sent a reply to him, rejecting his petition on the ground that it was made up of many false, unproven, defamatory information and accusation of genocide, something that is not supposed to be included in a petition. But in this response, the British government have put out an official statement regarding the transfer of our territory to La République du Cameroun. In the part of that document, it states as follows: the former British Cameroon has been integrated into Nigeria and Cameroon. The decision about the political future are therefore no longer the responsibility of the United Kingdom government or parliament. This statement is a great admission of guilt that Ambazonia have been integrated into Cameroon and it was formerly integrated into Nigeria. This is an admission of guilt and evidence of breach of trust by the British government. The United Nations resolution that authorizes the plebiscite specify in its document that Ambazonia was not to be integrated but was supposed to be united as two equal partners in a federation. The issue of integration was eliminated and established in the documents of the United Nations that forms the basis for the United Nations Resolution 1608 for the British government to admit that Ambazonia did not join. Ambazonia did not get into a union but was integrated into Cameroon is an admission of guilt officially by the British government, and Ambazonian organization must take full advantage of this document to sue the British government and establish the legal wrong in the transfer of our territory into an annexation process that have transformed itself into a recolonization process. The right courts where such breach of trust and violation of international fundamental law can be sued, as we know, without any research I must admit, is the European Court of Human Rights. Ambazonians can use this document as evidence to submit application for writ against the British government that will establish the wrong and place obligation to rectify this wrong to the British government, and somehow maybe to open the door for Ambazonians to claim British citizens abroad or protected people under British law and under British responsibility. There have been similar applications, one made by one Mr. Rodriguez versus British Columbia, and there are several law incidents where Ambazonians can consult on how to exploit this admission or an evidence that the British government have admitted to transferring Ambazonia for integration purposes other than what was authorized by the United Nations. Fellow Ambazonians, once again, we want to congratulate Ambazonian forces in Ngere, who attacked and launched the attack against the helicopter that was flying in. According to the intelligence that I had, the helicopter was coming in from Bafoussam. That helicopter have been passing through that area of Ngarbu in low hill areas to deliver weapons and materials in the great state of Bui. They have been using that route for a long time, and for since 8 months that this information was brought to our attention, We had passed out this information to our soldiers who had been previously in Garbu, but were sent out of Garbu. Ambazonian forces in Garbu had been driven out by the traditional rulers. The case that took place in Esu, where the Fon of Esu, just like the Fons in Tombo, had come together and called all the Ambazonian fighters and informed them that because of the ongoing tribal war, dispute of land, Ambazonian soldiers should withdraw from those areas so that La République du Cameroon will not take advantage over their villages and support the other side because of the presence of Ambazonian forces. This is the reason why Ambazonian forces in Garbu, Tombo, and Nguirong had withdrawn themselves, most of them into Bui, some of them into Ndu, and that is the biggest challenge we also have in Menchum. But we are very happy that the forces in Gere had taken upon themselves this opportunity to wait for this helicopter for a very long time. The helicopter was shut down when we had that intelligence that the helicopter had left from Bafoussam, Gendarmerie Legion. We passed that information. It was supposed to pass through Babaju and Tunkambe. And thank God the forces were successful in bringing down the helicopter with AK-47. It was not brought down with RPG as stated in media. We want to congratulate them. This is the biggest improvement of our forces. We have come a long way from using rubber gun, den guns, automatic rifle, AK-47, RPG. And now Ambazonian fighters have brought down not just armored car, but helicopter, one of the only assets of La République du Cameroon that have been involved in transporting their dead bodies, wounded soldiers, straight into Bafoussam, avoiding hospitals where we have intelligence network in Ambazonia, in the Savannah state. Congratulations to all of us. It's a very big victory. Ambazonians must take pride in this fat history that we have made today. A downing of an aircraft will register in the international system as a big improvement of our forces, and we must take pride and we must transfer this idea of monitoring and reporting opportunities such as this. If you are an Ambazonian and you see an opportunity of such, like they have seen this in Tombo and passed the information, and 8 months we have been waiting and finally we have succeeded, make sure you see something, you say something. We have 8 million Ambazonian eyes, we have 8 million Ambazonian operatives to work together for the freedom of our homeland. Fellow Ambazonians, we continue to caution our people to be careful with people that comes up to pretend and act as though they are Ambazonian activists, while their main aim are to work as agents provocateurs and people who have received money from La République du Cameroon to help to bring down our struggle and end the resistance. One Fabiano Deco have been reported of going on air severally, not only to attack and criticize Ambazonian forces, but to try to end Ambazonian resistance. In his latest round, Fabiano Deco criticizes the Ambazonian Defense Forces for collecting tax in the great state of Momo. The tax that has been measured have been proportional to our people is meant to liberate our people. Ambazonians should know that freedom is not free, and we must accept to pay a price to be free. Those who are convincing our people not to resist on Monday Ghost Town because they think they are going to lose money on profit, or to convince them not to donate to self-defense because they think it is going to take away the small income that they have. Those who encourage our people to work for CDC so that they will have money to eat, these are the people who hate Ambazonian and are working for La République to bring down Ambazonians. Ambazonians must know that we must pay a price for our freedom. The job for the enemy of La République is to remind us of the cost of our freedom and to discourage us from paying that cost so that we can have our freedom. The job of true Ambazonian activists is to encourage us to pay the price and to remind us of the glory and the goodness of freedom and the wealth and riches and health and milk and honey that awaits our people if only we can sacrifice a little bit more. Ambazonians should sacrifice a little bit more and respond to agents provocateurs like Fabiano Deco by even dipping their hands deep and making sure that any village that has been liberated by Ambazonian forces should be instituted this collective tax. All Ambazonians who have an income should be able to pay at least 10,000 a year in ground zero for their own freedom. This tax will eliminate kidnapping for ransom and excesses and will engage our population with our soldiers for a more collective and healthy liberation struggle. Respond to this criticism by doing the right thing. All Ambazonian forces everywhere in Ambazonia should align themselves with political institutions to have the right checks and balance to institute such policies. Every single Ambazonian with a source of income, I repeat, because that is the policy that is being applied by the Ambazonian Defense Forces. Every household, every male with a source of income must pay at least for 1 year 10,000 colonial currency. For every woman, 5,000 colonial currency. Keep your receipt and make sure we can be able to track down every collection donation you made. Any excesses or any soldier that embezzled money meant for self-defense, this money is meant for self-defense. And any soldier who embezzled money is worse than a black leg and should be treated as such. For the meantime, we must encourage our people to not just look at the cost of our independence and the cost for our freedom, but to look at the glory and the pride we are going to install to restore the dignity of Ambazonian people in an independent homeland. Capo Daniel, looking out for you, signing off.